Have you ever spent evenings reflecting on a day that has just passed, wondering why you are still stuck in place? You have many desires for change, and you are determined, but when it comes time to take action, you find yourself swept away by the fast pace of life. That feeling is like standing in front of an already open door, yet not knowing how to step through. The issue lies not in the desire, but in how you organize your time to actually do what you want. Then a surprising solution appears when you come across the idea of waking up at 5 in the morning. You may not fully believe it right away, but you are drawn in by its simplicity. A small action, but it can change the rhythm of your life. You imagine stepping out of bed while the city is still quiet, and in that moment, you don't have to chase after anything. You simply have the right to start the new day in your own way. The most promising aspect of waking up at 5 in the morning is the space it opens up. You gain time instead of being compressed between a multitude of obligations. You find a peace that is hard to achieve during the day. And most importantly, you regain a sense of agency. That feeling that helps you see you are in control of your life, rather than being swept away by it. When you begin to understand this, you will realize that change sometimes doesn't require anything grand. It just takes a different morning. You can start your morning more pleasantly with a simple solution. Switch your jarring alarm clock to a sunrise simulation. As the light gradually spreads, you feel yourself being gently pulled into the present, only to suddenly realize the issue that has quietly worn you out for so long. The sudden ringing that used to startle your body and leave your mind carrying the lingering tension throughout the day. And then, once you have awakened in that ease, you take a sip of water. That refreshing sensation makes you aware of another problem that has been overlooked. Your body and brain have gone through many hours of dehydration. Just one sip at the start of the day is enough to awaken your alertness, helping all mechanisms to operate more smoothly. You can clearly feel how your body responds, as if being fueled to step into the morning with a newfound clarity. You may have heard the saying, to be healthy, you must exercise for a long time and with heavy weights, but this is the moment to break that myth. You don't need to turn your morning into a mini gym to feel fully alive. Sometimes just a few minutes of movement is enough to awaken your body in a gentle yet much more effective way. You start with simple movements, a series of stretches, a few yoga poses, or a lap walking around the house. As your muscles awaken, you can clearly feel the warmth spreading, as if your body is greeting the new day. These movements are not meant to exhaust you, but to release the chemicals that brighten your mood and lighten your mind. The more you listen to your breath, the more you feel energized from within. Then you open the door, letting natural light touch your face. Not decorative light, but the essential fuel that helps your body kickstart the energy production process. Just a few minutes of standing still, with your eyes directed towards the light, activates a flow that leaves morning sluggishness behind. Nature takes care of its part, while you feel a clear uplift in your spirit. As you piece together these small things, you realize that morning energy does not come from intensity, but from the subtlety in how you treat your body. With just moderate movement and a bit of light, you create a foundation that can support you throughout the day. There are mornings when you open your eyes and your mind is already several steps ahead, as if your body is just trying to catch up. You recall the moment standing in front of the sink, water flowing while your mind wanders, and you wonder when you allowed yourself to be swept away like that. That feeling is so familiar that you almost default to considering it normal, until you suddenly stop and realize you haven't truly been present in each moment for a long time. When you try to sit down, take a deep breath, and let everything slow down, meditation becomes a gentle break that helps you return. Not to shake off all thoughts, but to see them as fleeting ripples. You begin to notice that you react less impulsively, less caught up in things that aren't worth making your entire day waver. Then, when your hand opens the notebook, the words appear not to record something great, but to tell yourself, this is the true feeling of today. You write down 3 small things you are grateful for, a few honest lines about your current state, along with a gentle intention to guide the new day. The words help you gather the scattered feelings within, as if you are giving yourself a stronger anchor. And when journaling becomes a habit, you start to see clearly. You no longer live on autopilot. Each line feels like a wake-up call, pulling you out of the automatic mode you have long been accustomed to. You gradually regain the steering wheel, not through intense effort, but through moments of reminding yourself to return to awareness and presence. The quiet morning often unfolds before you like a light, airy space, where sounds have yet to intrude, and the rhythm of life still hesitates. In that silence, pages of self-help books, biographies of inspiring figures, or lines of philosophy slowly open up like a pathway to your inner self. You turn each page and feel the ideas seep into you at your own pace, unhurried and undistracted. That moment feels like holding a profound conversation meant only for you and yourself. As your mind begins to warm up, you can shift to other choices, still within the trajectory of nurturing your personal growth. Sometimes it's learning a few new phrases in a language you've always wanted to explore. Other times it's a short tutorial video where someone explains an interesting skill or foundational knowledge you hadn't paid attention to before. Those seemingly small activities create a sense of opening another dimension for yourself, like gently turning a doorknob to see a wider space. The entire period carries a consistent meaning: to seize the moment before the world starts pulling you away. You realize that when distractions have yet to intrude, your thoughts are more flexible, and your desire for change is clearer. It is this proactive choice of how to start your day that makes you feel like you are laying each brick for a long-term process of growth. When you want to establish a more orderly workday, start by directing your body onto the right path. A nutritious breakfast is not only a healthy habit, but also a reminder that you are proactively preparing a lasting source of energy for yourself. Eating mindfully sends your body the signal that today's pace will be governed by intention rather than haste. Once your energy is stabilized, you move on to organizing what needs to be done. This is not about listing a lot of goals, but about choosing the right thing that deserves to be at the top. When priorities are clearly rearranged, your mind becomes less scattered, and each subsequent action becomes more focused. The moment you look at the list and know exactly which task will kick off your workday, helps you step into the operational rhythm decisively. After the order has been established, you take a brief moment to visualize the outcome you want to achieve. Visualization is not about coloring reality, but about placing your spirit in the right position. When you imagine yourself completing the task thoroughly, your mind begins to construct the appropriate pathway to get there. This pre-simulation is like adjusting a lens, helping you see the path more clearly and move towards success with a gentle yet firm intention. To be honest, there are mornings when you open your eyes and just want to pull the blanket up and pause the entire world. That feeling is not due to your weakness or lack of willpower. It's just your body resisting a new rhythm of life. You've heard somewhere that waking up early brings many good things, but in that moment, all you truly feel is heavy eyelids and a creeping thought. Should I sleep a few more minutes? Then, when you start wanting to maintain the habit, you realize that the hardest part is not waking up early for one day, but repeating it long enough for it to become natural. You find ways to reduce the morning resistance with small preparations the night before. Clothes are laid out to avoid rummaging. The alarm is replaced with soft light, so you no longer feel pulled out of sleep. Each small detail helps you get through the moment when you're most likely to give up. And then, slowly, you begin to sense your future self smiling at you. It's a version of you that is more alert, more proactive, with extra space to think, to breathe, to lead the new day instead of being swept along by it. Waking up early is not just about getting more done, but about feeling yourself getting closer to the person you want to become. Each morning becomes a gentle reminder. Every effort you put in today is creating the life you will be grateful for tomorrow. The advice for you right now is very simple. Prioritize the ability to maintain long-term over any breakthrough. Have you ever jumped into a new habit with all enthusiasm, only to feel out of breath a few days later? That feeling is not uncommon. When starting a journey towards sustainability, what takes you far is not the greatest effort, but the steady rhythm you can maintain each day. When you slow down a beat to ask, "How long can I do this?" you will find ease replacing the pressure of sleepless nights. There are times when you think that just a little more effort will be fine, until your body sends clearer signals than you expect. Lack of sleep makes every plan seem eroded from within. When you truly give yourself 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, you begin to feel the intact energy of a new day. It's not the excitement that flares up and then fades, but the foundation that helps you maintain the stability you've already initiated. You are more alert, less resistant to yourself, and good habits suddenly become much easier to grasp. Occasionally, you may find yourself trying to live according to a mold that doesn't truly belong to you. In those moments, all you need to do is take a half step back and ask yourself, what aligns best with my rhythm of life? When you allow yourself to customize each detail in your schedule, you will find everything fitting better. It feels like stepping into a pair of shoes that fit, neither loose nor tight, just enough for you to walk far without pain. And to prevent everything from becoming a burden, you need to take small steps, slow enough for yourself to adapt. The gradual transition is like a young plant taking root. You don't see it immediately, but there is silent movement every day. When you don't force yourself to change too quickly, you also avoid the burnout that makes you want to give up everything. By moving slowly, you are laying the foundation for true sustainability, something that will stay with you longer than any spontaneous determination. There are times you have to admit a rather harsh truth. Waking up early is not a magic wand that makes everything naturally better. You do not become the perfect version of yourself just by hitting the alarm once. But that very truth opens up something more valuable. When you wake up early, no miracle happens. Just more time and more clarity to reflect on the things you have been avoiding. And sometimes, that is enough to turn a whole day around. In that rare moment of silence, you clearly see the things you have delayed for too long. The goals that once made you hesitant to start. The plans that keep getting pushed to tomorrow. And the anxiety lurking in your chest. Waking up early does not make them disappear, but it gives you a safe space to touch them without fear. You can start with a very small action, and then realize that procrastination no longer holds the power it once did. And when you repeat this every morning, this habit gradually becomes a purposeful decision. You no longer drift through the new day as if you are just a passenger on the train of your own life. You begin to choose the direction, choose the pace, choose how to step into the morning. This proactivity helps you realize that life does not change in a grand moment, but in small yet consistent things. Then there will be moments you wonder if you have enough perseverance to maintain all of this. But in reality, you do not need to embrace the entire habit. You just need to try one element. It could be waking up 10 minutes earlier. It could be opening your eyes without reaching for your phone. Just a small piece, to feel how it changes something inside you. And in the end, the most important thing is not what time you wake up. What matters is that each morning, you choose yourself first. You choose the direction, choose the mood, choose the rhythm. When you prioritize yourself from the moment you open your eyes, the entire day seems to prioritize you in a gentler way. Sometimes just a small ray of light in the morning is enough to make you feel that you can start over, stronger and clearer. And if that moment is extended a little longer, who knows, you might see a different version of yourself. Calmer, more proactive, more vibrant. So if you had a few hours in the morning entirely for yourself, without the rush pulling you back, what would you do first? Take a few minutes to breathe slowly, or open up a plan that you have postponed for too long. When those thoughts begin to form, this is also the time you can accompany this journey for a longer duration. Just a touch to track, you will always have a support point reminding you to return, to continue nurturing the habit that makes each morning more meaningful. And before concluding, hold on to one thing. Change doesn't have to be loud. Just by taking half a step further, persisting for one more morning, every small movement will soon create a new trajectory. You have reached the end of this path, and that is proof that you can absolutely move forward, stronger, clearer, and closer to yourself than ever before.